Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. So excited to be with you. So excited to share this news with you, folks, because I've got a banger. I have found the best liberal meltdown video of all time. Happened on the floor. It was either the U.S. Senate or the U.S. House. I'm not sure which. I can obviously see the lady talking, and it is just phenomenal. So I can't wait to share that with you. But do me a favor as you're joining the stream. Please smash that like, chat in with where you're from. I also have some really good news for you on immigration and what's going on and the deportations and all of it. Some things that'll make you mad, some things that'll make you cheer. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of that going on here today. But first, I want to kind of share we get a lot of bad press on Trump. And it was probably 6 months ago, I made a post. I clipped part of Tucker Carlson's documentary about President Trump. And the post on X went well over 1 million, almost like 2 million views on this thing, 2 million impressions. And I want to share this with you because Trump has done many good things. There's a lot of things that we don't ever hear about. So good to see Georgia on the stream, Michigan, Tennessee, so many great states represented. So let's watch this first quick.
With the Trump family longer than anyone.
So I think it's going on 16 years. And that's what makes it interesting is I've seen the family and how people treated them before politics and after. 16 years, started off running Eric Trump's charity for St. Jude, which he's raised over $40 million for at this point.
Look at the children that he raised. They're all accomplished, well-educated. He laughs, I think, and defers and says, oh, my wife did that. But I think the president's got something to do with it.
He's raised 5 of the best kids I've ever known and had the honor to call friends.
All of his children are there for him. Every single one of them.
I always say it's not hyperbole. They truly saved my life. I relapsed with cocaine in 2012, I believe. I had already been working for them for about 4 or 5 years. Very high pressure job working for the largest real estate, company in the world at the time. When I relapsed, Eric Trump called me into his office, confronted me about my drug use. As I'm basically lying to his face, I'm fidgeting and I look up and he's got tears in his eyes. And that's when I just lost it. I started crying like a baby and I was like, you're right. And he's like, Lynn, you're better than this. We want you to get the help that you need. Laura Trump was on the phone, speakerphone. His brother and sister later, supported me in my endeavor, and I got some outpatient assistance. And then when their father still wanted me to work in Washington, I was just floored because they gave me another chance. And I don't think people see that side of this family enough. They were born and bred in this lifestyle, and they live, breathe, and eat it. But they're willing to walk away from all of that for this great country.
Please welcome to the stage Eric Trump and RNC co-chair Laura Trump.
Folks, that is such a heartwarming, heart-touching story about Trump and, the Trump family, how they treat people. We hear a lot of things in the news that are very contrary to that. But that is just a tearjerker. So did you all enjoy that? I mean, kind of a different way to start the stream, but give me a hand clap in the chat if you enjoyed that. I also have a favor to ask of you, okay? I'm going to pull up a channel. I posted it earlier, and then I lost it here. Let me see. Not that one. I'm going to switch and go to this. So I was on the phone with another YouTuber many of you know. His name's Doug Tenaple. And in talking with him, we were just talking about some of the things that we've gone through with YouTube. And I guess I'm going to revive an old channel, okay, that I haven't really done much with, okay? And I'm going to do something different. So I'm going to post this in right here. It's actually, if you search me on YouTube and you search Lumberjack Logic, you'll find 2 channels. This channel, which you're all on, okay, that's under my name, Neil Johnson. And then I've got one that's simply called Lumberjack Logic. I'm going to post a great video up there today. I've already got the thing. I got it in the editor. I'm going to get it done for you. So please do me a favor and subscribe to that channel that I just posted. And I'll post it again. But it's at Lumberjack Logic 1844. I don't know how I got that handle. And where did it go? There it is. But if you could go subscribe to that channel, I will post a video to that channel today. But I am going to try a different format over there on that channel. I'm going to keep my live streams over here for my great live stream audience. But I'm going to have it another format over there. So if you could please go subscribe to that channel. And then I will post a video, and hopefully we'll see if this takes off. Because we're noticing one of the things that YouTube has done is they're giving smaller channels more exposure in certain ways. And I saw this actually with another channel I have. So anyways, it's just something that I want to try where they're restricting outflows to new people. So anyhow, thank you so much for that. Folks, I'm going to start this with the Great Meltdown. This is a prosecutor, a federal prosecutor, and it was either a Senate or a House hearing. And her name is Sarah. By the way, Sarah means princess. I know because I've got a daughter named Sarah. But this lady really thinks she's a princess. Watch this.
And so I thought it was possible I could continue to serve that office. I was wrong. After 3 weeks of training and getting prepared for the next week, that Friday I left work. I walked to the metro station. I got on the train and I pulled out my phone and I saw a litigation hold that had been put on it. And attached to that was a memo that gave Mr. Martin permission to fire probationary employees from the Capitol Siege section that were moved to other places in the office.
Okay, her tears. These people, I have no sympathy for her tears. These are the very same people who held J6ers in pretrial detention for years, who tried to nail them on, for 6 months to a year in prison for misdemeanor charges. I've never seen prosecutors go more rabidly after any individuals than J6ers. And now she wants to sit here and shed her tears and expect us to care. This is a phenomenal meltdown. I laughed. I'm sorry, but I did. Lord, forgive me. But I mean, I'm telling you, what they did to these people. And then to see her sit and cry like this about it, just wild to me. Absolutely wild. Ed Martin, by the way, Ed Martin is the one right now that Tom Tillis, if you want to reach out to somebody, you want to take some action, you got to make sure that Ed Martin is confirmed. You got to email your senators and say, confirm Ed Martin, because they are trying to block his nomination. He's one of the people who stood up for Trump, who had the J6ers back, and now he's going to be the acting DC attorney. Well, he is right now, okay? And that's who she's talking about, Ed Martin getting these letters because he can people. Now listen to this.
The memo referenced people, but didn't have a list of names attached. But the information provided was confusing. I knew I was probably on the list, but I didn't know exactly what was going on. I headed back to the office so I could figure out what was happening.
Why would she know her name is on the list? Because she's rabidly going after J6ers.
I was met by my colleagues who shared their confusion and a heartbreak over this sudden event. We left the office, and 2 hours later, the letters started rolling in, terminating us. At the end of the night, 15 assistant U.S. attorneys had been fired. The termination letter I received stated the decision was based on your actions and the prosecution of persons relating to the events that occurred at or near the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. An executive order issued on January 20th, 2025, the president characterized that work as having involved a grave national injustice that has perpetrated upon the American people over the last 4 years.
Because it was a grave national injustice to wreck people's lives, to go after their families simply for attending a protest. Many of these people didn't enter the building, okay? And even if they did, they were charged with things like parading. I didn't even know that was a crime, folks, but apparently parading is a crime. It's unbelievable. And to see her sit there and cry, give me a break. Anyways, posting that channel again so you guys can subscribe to it.
It went on to say that my hiring has hindered the ability of the acting U.S. Attorney Martin to staff his office in furtherance of his obligation to faithfully implement the agenda that the American people elected President Trump to execute.
That's right, because that's why we elected him. Now listen to it. This is where she loses her cool. This is the best part.
The termination letter made it clear to me that Mr. Martin does not understand the role of a prosecutor. U.S. attorneys represent the United States of America, not the president. Firing 15 qualified.
Okay, so this is beautiful, folks. I'm going to, so you can watch her face contort again. But watch this and take into consideration that the Biden Justice Department and Merrick Garland, she was doing their bidding. She was serving at their pleasure. She was going after the cases that they told her to.
The letter made it clear to me that Mr. Martin does not understand the role of a prosecutor. U.S. attorneys represent the United States of America, not the president. Firing 15 qualified attorneys created an immediate deficit in the office to appropriately prosecute cases.
Yes, it created an immediate deficit in the office. We should all feel sad for them because they couldn't keep prosecuting. Folks, what percentage of the Department of Justice was tuned into and the FBI was tuned into J6ers? Wasn't it over 5,000? I'm trying to remember the exact number. Somebody in the chat will remember this. Chat in with that. How many? It was over 5,000 people, wasn't it? That was dedicated simply to prosecuting and hunting down people who'd shown up for a protest in Washington, D.C. And yet they let immigrant crime run wild. It's freaking nuts. In fact, it's run so wild. I got another one to share with you here. It's just mind-blowing, but I do have to mention my sponsor really quickly, folks. That's Birch Gold. Okay, you guys know I've always been a big believer in gold and silver. I've talked about this for years, even before I ever had a sponsor. I did some videos with a banker. We talked specifically about gold and silver. But get your free info kit on gold by texting the word lumberjack to the number 989-898. No obligation, just useful information, folks. The Rio Reset is coming in July. There is a global summit of BRICS nations in Rio de Janeiro. Okay? That's China, Russia, India, Iran, and they're meeting with the goal of displacing the U.S. dollar as the global currency. A number of states are now making gold and silver legal tender for debts within their state. This is happening. They're trying to get this through in Texas, but those rhinos, Texas has the worst legislature going, but it's passed in so many states already. So go check that out. Again, Birch Gold, Lumberjack to 989-898. All right. Now, the next video, check this out. This will blow your ever-loving mind. See how bad it is. They're sitting there running around prosecuting people who show up for a protest, and they won't prosecute these people. This story will boil your blood.
A gym tank and wasting no time when the door opened. Surveillance video appears to capture 36-year-old Andres Fernandez de la Paz shooting once.
Okay, so I'm not going to show you him shooting, okay, because that would be out on YouTube, okay? It's going to create, but I'm going to just forward this. So basically, he shot a husband, a guy. He's the guy he shot was a husband and father, all that. And actually, I believe this was the ex-brother-in-law or brother-in-law of the gal at the house. But wait till you hear. He's got a lengthy criminal history, folks. I'm gonna see if it hits here.
With skimming devices during a traffic stop after he placed one.
Oh. Let me go back just a little bit more.
Leading a credit card skimming operation across Texas.
So he was in charge of a credit card skimming operation.
In 2023, Sour Lake, Texas police confirm they caught him with skimming devices during a traffic stop after he placed one at a gas pump. Days later.
If you don't know what skimmers are, that's what they do. They put these things on credit card readers or gas pumps. I had this happen to me once. You swipe your card and they grab your information and then they commit credit card fraud against you. Fortunately, I have a Cabela's Visa card and I called and they took care of everything. I never had to worry about it. They have great fraud protection there. But yeah, this is what they do.
Sources say the FBI took over the investigation, but no federal charges got filed. Then last fall captured.
No federal charges got filed. Yeah.
In this surveillance image at a retail chain, a source says he was caught using stolen credit card information to buy high-dollar items through the store's app, landing him in the Fort Bend County Jail. He got.
So, okay, you guys get this? constant fraud, constant theft, illegal immigrant. And listen to this. He gets put in jail, and what happens to him? Let me guess before you even hear it. Folks, what happened to this guy? What happened to him? He got put in jail. They've got him on crimes. So what do they do with him?
Released both times when records show Fernandez de la Paz had an ICE detainer. He's been in the country illegally since 2016.
So here you go, folks. If you want to get out of jail for committing crimes, just get yourself an ICE detainer. Y'all get it? This is the Biden Justice Department. And remember, Sarah, the crier there in the hearing, crying. Oh, what's going to happen? My job. She wanted to go after American citizens, but they could not find it in them to go after criminal illegals.
Was ordered removed in 2019, and ICE tells KPRC2 News in a statement the Cuban government refused to accept his return at that time, preventing ICE from carrying out his.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's what. So why didn't Biden work out a deal with El Salvador and Bukele and do some CCOT thing or some other country and ship them out to a prison over there? It's freaking ridiculous. They could have done this all along. Absolutely blows my ever-loving mind. Okay? So Sarah wants to cry about this. And Alina Habba was on Newsmax the other day, and you got to hear what she said because it's just straight fire. So listen to this, because people, they are trying to convince you right now in the media, and many of you understand the need for due process of law, okay? Because you don't want to be put in jail without due process, do you? So what they're doing is they're playing on the heartstrings of Americans because we know some basic rules about due process, right? But they are leaving out valuable information. So listen to this.
Hearing demands now for due process, Alina, for the millions imported by Biden. Take a listen to this from last night.
If you're going to have 21 million people, and if we have to get a lot of them out because they're criminals, we're going to have to act fast. We can't. Do you think we can give 21 million trials? Let's say each trial takes 2 weeks. Is that what you want us to do?
The law
Give
is the
21
law,
million?
sir. The law.
Oh, this guy is such a freaking hack. That the law is the law, sir. Yeah, the law is the law, meaning that district court judges on the federal bench aren't supposed to be putting forth nationwide injunctions. The law is the law. Slap that man for me. Gosh, God help me. This interview, I'm sorry. I mocked him yesterday and I shared clips, but he's just a tool. An absolute tool. And you thought maybe he'd be better than Stephanopoulos. Maybe he'd be better than Muir. No, instead he was just a schmuck too. Gosh, the mainstream media sucks.
That's the law, and you're
The law
sworn
doesn't
to
say anything
uphold it.
about trials.
In our country, even bad guys get due process, right?
If people come into our country illegally, there's a different standard. These are illegal. They came in illegally.
But they get due process.
Yeah, so Trump, you can just see, I paused it here. Look at his face, folks. Trump's like, I'm dealing with a moron, man. He's like going, what the hell is this guy talking about? Yes, they've got due process, folks. It's a different court system. And Elena Habba's going to explain it.
Well, they get a process where we have to get them out.
It's
Yeah, the president's right on
we've
that,
dumped
Rob.
millions. Yeah, go ahead.
No, well, just so you understand, and this is a point that I really think needs to be made, the Department of Justice and these illegal aliens have been given through ICE, through administrative judges, are given due process. They go through and get a warrant to deport them because they are proven to be illegally here or criminals and are told by a warrant signed by an administrative judge that they are to be detained and deported.
See, they've gone through an administrative judge, detain and deport. They've already been through the process. They've got their due process. They're here illegally. We're supposed to have 21 million trials? What kind of bull crap are they trying to pull on us right now? Do me a favor, folks. Smash that like if you would. I want to get this stuff out, and it's dealing with YouTube lately has been interesting. So I am going to share in the chat. I just shared the link again, folks, but please go follow my other channel because I am going to post a video on this today. I really haven't used this channel for 3 years. It was a backup channel, but I'm going to launch a new format of video over there, and I would love your support if you're willing. So it's just at Lumberjack 1844. The link is right there. You can just click on it and just go over there and subscribe really quick as you're watching this video. All right? All right, back to Alina Habba.
Have been given due process. What this gentleman is uneducated about and is speaking about is saying that you should try them as if there's some sort of civil litigation or criminal lawsuit. That's not what this is. Exactly. There are warrants. That's what ICE is created for. And they're being deported to protect Americans. We have wasted enough taxpayer dollars, in my opinion, in courts, as you saw and I've seen for the past 4 years. We need to clean up the streets. We don't want them voting. They were here for different reasons. We know what they were. I won't speak to them right now because of my role, but I will tell you this. These people have been given due process. Judges signed orders so that they could be taken out of the country. We are following the law.
And so, folks, speaking of following the law, so there's my other channel. If you're subscribing to it, I'd appreciate it. But let's go here. Let's go into U.S. Code 1323, the unlawful bringing of aliens into the United States. Persons liable. It shall be unlawful for any person, including any transportation company, or the owner, master, commanding officer, agent, charter, or consignee of any vessel or aircraft to bring to the United States from any place outside thereof, other than the foreign contiguous territory, any alien who does not have a valid passport and an unexpired visa, if a visa was required under this chapter or regulations issued thereunder. They broke the law, folks. So you remember all those companies that were busing and the charter jets that were just dumping people all over our country? They all broke the law. U.S. Code 1323, 8 U.S. Code 1323. All right, on to the next. It is unlawful for an owner, agent, master, commanding officer, person in charge, purser, or consignee of a vessel or aircraft who is bringing in alien, okay, except an alien crew member, to the United States to take any consideration to be kept or returned contingent on whether an alien is admitted to or ordered removed from the United States. Evidence. It appears to the satisfaction of the Attorney General that any alien has been so brought, such person or transportation company or the master, commanding officer, agent, owner, charter, consignee of any such vessel or aircraft shall pay to the commissioner a fine of $3,000 for each alien so brought, and except in the case of any such alien who is admitted or permitted to land temporarily, in addition, an amount equal to that paid by such alien for his transportation from the initial point of departure indicated in his ticket to the port of arrival, such later fine to be delivered by the commissioner to the alien on whose account the assessment is made. Folks, they need to go after all those companies that were bussing in illegals and charge them all $3,000 a pop. Okay, this is insanity what they did to our country. Okay, whoo. All right. Anyways, there's more, folks. I've got all kinds of endless laws that were broken by the Biden Justice Department, and now we're supposed to give them all individual trials. What kind of crap are they trying to pull over us? Don't buy it for a second. Okay, all right. You want to hear something else going on? So you guys remember when I had Rod Martin on the other day? So a major marriage fraud bust. ICE just caught a ring of fraudsters selling fake marriages to illegal immigrants so they can stay in the country. Okay. So here, if I go to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, they assist with ICE investigation that dismantled a nationwide marriage fraud operation. 10 were arrested, with more coming in the ongoing operation, folks. So it goes on. I'm going to post this. So if you guys want to actually share this specific page around, you can. Bam, there you go. Folks, I lose my mind over this stuff some days. I shouldn't, but I just... It just boggles my mind that our mainstream media sucks that badly, because we actually need a good media. And yes, some of you listen to me, and I know some of you listen to other podcasters, but the mainstream media still has way too much weight in this country. And what they are doing is absolutely appalling. Not only that, on top of that, we have these idiot Democrats like Raskin and who's the idiot out of Maryland, Van Hollen, running down there. Oh, please, we need to do a wellness check. Proof that, again, Democrats will use wellness checks as whether it's done here in the country or abroad, folks, they will use wellness checks as a weapon because they use them to go in and bust down people's doors. It's sick what they do here. All right. I need to go take a Rev 7. I'm too worked up, man. I got to get my brain focused back because this stuff upsets me so bad. And I know it probably upsets you guys too. So anyways, do me a favor though, please smash that like, do chat in with where you're from if you just joined the stream, share the stream out. We've covered a lot of good stuff already. You can go back and catch the beginning of the stream if you want to. I saw somebody say you're a true journalist, Neil Carey. Thanks, but I'm actually a commentator. There's some great journalists out there. I've worked with them. I've featured them on the show. But really what I am is a political commentator. I take it and I'm an aggregator, right? You guys don't want to spend all this time looking through all these different sources to find these stories. And so I bring those stories to you. I know my role. I'm an aggregator and a commentator. And I enjoy my role. But again, I keep going back to that Sarah. We were watching the video at the beginning. She's crying because she's losing her job as a federal prosecutor. And yet, look at what they didn't prosecute, and then look what they did prosecute. I have no time to cry for them at all. I see Yvonne in Idaho. Good to see you on. Maybe I can finally get an Idaho elk tag next year. It's been so rough the last couple of years to try and get a tag. That's a story of political malfeasance, actually, what's going on in Idaho with elk tags and how landowners are working with outfitters to basically destroy the odds for those who are non-residents applying unless they're going through an outfitter. It's absolutely crazy. It happens everywhere. It's happening at state, county, federal, everywhere government exists. Fraud is occurring and in favors and paybacks and all of that. Okay. So anyways, I'm going to bring this in one more time. Okay. Folks, please go subscribe to, this is an old channel of mine, but I'm going to start putting content on there and I'm going to put a video on there today. And I just need your help so this channel can take off. And Carrie, thank you so much for that super sticker. But this would be really the greatest thing you could do to help me today if you could just go over there and subscribe. And as soon as that next video comes out, and I will, you should get a notification. We'll sign up for notifications. Then you should get a notification on it. And I'm going to see if I'm going to try a little different format. One of the things I read actually, so I'll tell you something I read on X the other day. So there's a lot of quote unquote news channels right now. And what they're doing is you can see these people who they might have done finance or they might have done, self-help or all these different things, but now they're all just trying to make news. And actually a lot of them are doing these faceless channels and they're using AI. So it's not their opinion. It's not real journalism, what they are doing, but it's a moneymaker, folks. They're making money with it. And apparently people like AI reading to them. That's because what they're doing is they're taking multiple articles. And a guy did a whole post on it and how he was making all this money and how you could do it. I won't do that. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go take take from two articles and produce me a thumbnail and then put something together. I want it 9 minutes in length and all that. And then just AI just comes up with a story based on the available sources. And so that's one of the reasons that YouTube is getting more competitive now, is because people don't even have to produce the content anymore. They just let AI do it. So anyways, folks, thank you so much for joining me today. I don't like AI either, Lisa. Thank you, Mary, for subscribing. Hit the notifications too. Thank you. Okay. Look at all you. Thank you, Chrono. Thank you. Thank you, BJ. Thank you. TX Jules. Thank you. Look at all you folks subscribing. Okay. Thank you. Look at, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. I swear I really do have one of the best, most loyal audiences on all of YouTube. I will forever thank you. You've dealt with my inconsistencies and with YouTube and bans and, having to come off the platform for 90 days so strikes can expire. all the stuff that we've dealt with. My friend Doug Tenaple, got all 12 of his old channels back the other day. I'm not even kidding you. He got all 12 of his channels back the other day. I don't know. It's like you're dealing with a, sometimes I feel like with YouTube, I'm dealing with like a schizophrenic person. It's just weird. Anyways, again, thanks so much. We'll see you guys on the next episode. All right. Peace out.